in one of those things that you mentioned earlier, you said you're not going to say that education doesn't help or parents shouldn't push their kids towards education. It also helps them to develop what they're thinking and widen the sort of horizon and their knowledge. But at the same time, it is also important for them to develop. So what do you have to say about side hustle? Because that's where it comes in. Because some, like now, you might be an engineer. You earn Monday to Friday. You're an engineer. Actually, that's what you wanted to do. But that doesn't stop you from looking for other alternatives because having a one stream of income doesn't cost anymore.
It's not sustainable.
That is why you see celebrities that are making money. They are even social media influencers. They are doing podcasting. They are making money. They're doing that. So moving on from now, do you think, like as a Nigerian or as an African, your upbringing of giving you that push from home, does it have an impact on your personality amongst your friends? Like, does it give you more opportunities to say, I want to achieve this, I can do this? Does it create something
like
in you?
With me?
Yeah.
No, I feel like everyone just thinks I'm a wanker.
What does a wanker mean?
I don't know how to describe it.
You have to.
You have to, because there are some people that don't say
like, you're like a twat.
What does that mean? Now you're speaking language.
A wanker is like someone that's a bit mean. Let's just put it that way. Just a bit mean. Not like you're a bit of like a standoffish, mean. You don't like those people. You don't like a wanker. But I feel like because my upbringing, I've never really thought like until later in like high school and stuff. I've never really thought, oh, I'm bad at this then. Oh, I'm not good at this. And for some reason, that's cooking. I always tried, like, I was always getting...
No, it's not cooking.
I think we also need to make things clear because the language, you're from what generation?
Boomer. I'm not a baby boomer. What are you? I'm not a baby boomer.
Generation X?
I'm a Generation X. I'm not a boomer.
MZ. We can just say
and I'm Y.
I was born in the late 70s, so that's pretty much. I know the expectation there are different, but even if I sit with my elder ones that are older than me, that are my siblings, they will say I'm different. Because most of my siblings or my elder ones are born in mid 60s and early 70s. But if I'm among them, I feel that they are like, what did you say the other time, that they are baby boomers? You guys are still thinking like a baby boomer. I think sometimes when we talk about generational differences, also I think age is a thing of the mind. That's how I feel. Like, most people, the more you go older, the more you tend to know that you are out of line, like you're missing out on something. And depends on your personality to identify that and learn, which is part of education. Like we're saying education, people go to uni, like say my generation go to uni, and I feel that because I've been to uni in early 20, that still make me relevant. I'm not relevant. I have to make myself relevant. The education I have then is different from the education that is relevant. So education, they call it in my profession as a long-term learning. You're a long-term learner. You have to evolve, educate, encourage, educate, learn more. So it doesn't have to do with you going to uni. It has to do with your state of mind and how you involve and what you want to know.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is why I feel that it's important for you to have an idea of learning and go to uni to train yourself, because it takes a lot of IQ to go to uni to learn.
I don't think.
I know some low IQ. I think so.
What I
a lot of discipline.
What I feel is education is valuable both in Africa and the Western world. It's just the effort, the expectations, level of expectation, and also the pressure surrounding achievement. That's just what's different.
Then what you're saying, what I was going to is that, you know how we talk about that education and how parents actually want their kids to have that. You know, sometimes as a parent, you also need to know your child level of intelligence and IQ. You get what I mean? But back then, during my own time, I'm not saying about what's going on now. During my own time in the early 90s, my parent doesn't even know what is the difference between an IQ of someone that can, if you cannot say that, you don't know what you're doing, you have to know. They don't know if you have the capacity. You have the capacity to learn. You have the insight to know.
I know.
It's not everybody that education is for. And that is the difference between the third world and this environment that we are.
I would reframe that in education is for everyone, but different people have different level of capacity to attain. Because back home, what people do is they take one standard and they use it to like classify every other one, which doesn't work, because I feel there's no dumb person. Everyone just has a different capacity, and that's the difference in Western words. Like Western communities, it's always student-centered. It's always holistic. So they don't try to like use one standard to measure it. How can we help you, or how can you be more creative, or use that and develop yourself and upskill?
I really felt like as I got older, like I'm not that old, but I've gotten older from like high school to like grade 10 to like now. I've started to see that people are, because when I seen someone like do something, I'm like, oh, this guy's dumb. I'm like, what's wrong with this person? So there's something wrong with them. But now I'm starting to think like, instead of being like, oh, someone's dumb, and boost, like I feel like it boosts your own ego. But being like someone's dumb isn't the right way, because I started to realize some people literally in their head can't make certain connections in certain ways. So you think like someone's like linking this to this, and you're like, oh, it's an easy link, so you shouldn't be, it should be like right there, it's right, it's obvious, it's right in front of you. But some people, their like brain takes a longer time to process, and you have to explain it to them in like segments.
That's knowing your kids. That's what we're actually saying now. If you now bring that person that takes them longer time to link up information, and because they struggle all their time from grade 1 to grade 12, and they now finish, and as a parent, because I want to boost my own personal ego, you have to go to uni. And that person now goes to uni, and instead of finishing uni in 3 years, they're still in uni for 5 years. And at the end of the day, they burned out of uni, and at the end of the day, what they have, what they could have done within that time is wasted. All because as an African and as a Nigerian, my child has to go to uni. You get what I mean? We're not saying that it's not good for you to push your child to have that educational standard, but what we're saying is that we need to have the understanding that education sometimes it's good, but what is important is what is this level of education this person can attain. So that is the difference between this environment we find ourselves, because they have different layers and different level of education. So you can go to TAFE, which is just like you going to a technical school to develop your skill for you to be able to function in the environment, for you to be able to be productive. Or if you want to go further, go to uni and have your bachelor. And if you have your bachelor, you can function there, you still have that capacity. Or if you want to go to be a PhD, that you can do that. So there's different. But back home in Nigeria, we have that educational structure too. But how many people know that? You know, in Nigeria, we have something that is equivalent to you going to a technical school. You can actually go to a technical from GSS 3. And go and do a technical, go and do a trader.
But
be a trader.
In Nigeria, is it like, with like being a tradie? Like here, if you're a tradie, you can make like a lot of money as a tradie. Can you make a lot of money as a
that's
tradie
why
in Nigeria?
we said a system that works
and a system that doesn't work.
So you can't make
you will just be an artisan. You just be someone that you will get money, but you cannot. No
one is gonna look at you in a good way.
You're gonna get money, but what you get is not like someone that is like a lawyer or someone that
you're gonna be inferior. That's
inferior. The complexity, people see you as in, because the society see you as in, okay, you don't have a degree, you don't, you're not educated, so you are less.
Really,
and that could also be due to the way the country was structured. You know what I mean? The structure and the diversity in the society itself, because how we have social stratas.
It's really weird, because when I went there, I went there with Dad earlier this year and the last year. It was really weird because you could see people really. I don't know if it's like everyone's putting up even though people that were in like a lower class, like middle class or higher class, you could tell the real difference. Like everyone's like pretending, like especially lower class people. Like they're pretending to be even lower than they. It's like, why are you pretending to be dumber than you are, or like you're not dumb. Why are you pretending to be dumb to make this guy feel better? So he you start, oh God, and my mind, some random guy you just
they're trying to boost the other person's ego and kiss ass to get what they want.
Kissing, like everyone's ass. I'm like, yo, chill out. This is like you're losing. I feel like it's
and that's the privilege of what you have.
Self-respect, like. Oh,
but
it seems a bit.
Then back there, you need connection.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do that to get what you want.
Yeah.
And that's why I said a system that works, a system that doesn't.
What about like, let's say someone's doing that, right? From my point of view, if someone's doing that to me, I'm like screw this guy.
That's because
what about
of where you're coming from.
If they're doing that to someone that lives in Nigeria but it's a high class, do they see that as a good thing?
Yeah, because they actually will be demanding, because you are accepting that. Immediately it's part of why you go to school, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to fit in into the society. You want to be in the high class.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? That's why people that is saying Oga to, they're saying sir to that person that's educated is actually thinking in their head that my own child will not say sir to another person. So I have to look for all means. I have to look for all means to send my kids to school so my kids can be like that rich man.
So they're trying to do that as a
that's side sacrifice. Then the parents will be like, they will be artisan, they will sweep for someone, they will work as a slave, they will do as much, they will save up the money and send their child to school. But what we are now saying is that this and the years have changed, things have changed. Even if you do all that and you finish from uni, doesn't make your child to be like that person. What makes a person to be successful is access to information that you have. What information is in your hand, because information is power. If you go to uni gives you half of information, right? They give you how to add one or two things together. Now it's not left for you to think that, okay, this information that I have from uni, maybe I studied business, how can I use my skill? Okay, as a person, I love to bake. Now I know how to add one or two things together, how to manage my money. I understand how the tax system works. Now I can use that education to develop my skill that I have, which is my gifting, by actually identifying their gifting, the skill that they have right from childhood, and helping them to shape it as they go, and use education to support them. If that person has the capacity to go further, fine. If they don't have a lot of their capacity doesn't become a level of going to uni or going to a profession, you can just start from a trade school. Okay, you have this, okay, go to trade school so they can teach you how to add one or two things together, how to make a spreadsheet, how to calculate on Excel, and how to keep money and things like that, and support that child to go through life.
And I feel like to make like a successful kid, the first thing you have to like instill in them is like not like being cocky, just like a lot of self-confidence. Because I feel like there's a lot of times where you'd be like, I want to do this, I want to do that. No one knows. Like everyone thinks everyone cares about them at the start. Like everyone thinks if you walk around the street saying stuff, people care about you.
No one cares.
No one actually cares about you.
No one cares.
And a lot of times you'd be told that no, you're not going to be able to do this. No, like you can't do that. What are you talking about? But if you have that self-confidence to keep doing it, I feel like if you just instill self-confidence, like your kids are going to be like everything's going to fall into place.
So my question is, what gives you self-confidence?
What gives you self? Oh, that's so interesting. What I feel like my confidence comes from like. So when I first I moved to Australia when I was in grade 4, I didn't even clock any type of bullying, anything, no one making fun of me. I couldn't recognize that, so that was good. That was lucky for me, because one of my mates later on told me, oh yeah, we used to make fun of you for this when you were younger. I was like, what, you guys did? I didn't even know. But I didn't clock that anyone was making fun of me or anything. And my dad's like really self-confident, and he's always like, you can do this, what are you talking about, you can do this. Even when we're playing basketball and we're doing school, and mom's like, oh, what are you doing? You have to focus on your school. Dad's always like, nah, he can do both. Like, why can't he do both? There's people that do more. You can do both. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I can always do what I want to do as long as I just achieve. There's nothing stopping me. The only thing that's going to make me not do well is me. Or like, there's literally no... I don't get how people can think like... I get how people can think, but personally, I can't see myself thinking, oh, I'm defeated, I can't do this. Even if I lose or I fail on something, I'll be like, there's always a opportunity. I can pick someone up. Like, I can't see myself I can't imagine myself broke. I'll cry. I can't imagine myself
being broke.
I can't imagine myself in the future because I'm like, well, why not? Like, there's so much other people. Like, look around. There's people successful. There's people that made it from zero to something. Why would I be a person that doesn't? Like,
so it's just keep pushing yourself.
Just keep pushing.
But in the aspect of parents, I would say one, teaching your kids emotional intelligence, helping them know who they are, and helping them understand that they have no control over every other person. But what they have control is what they can do within themselves. Once they understand what their circle of control is, they can fully control that. Because a lot of people will say things, there'll be a lot of opinions, there'll be a lot of you can't do this, and letting you down. But you're saying that all of that doesn't matter, and the only one thing that can stop me truly is myself. Yeah, so we really need, and again, we need to also let parents know pressure is good. Surrounding
too much pressure.
But the thing is, where is that pressure? Why is that pressure?
Are
you doing it because of validation, or because you're trying to compare your kids with others, or are you doing it because you want that child to actually be someone good and get to that sort of
pressure.
So and the right pressure is good.
And actually looking at, who am I pressurizing? What is the mental state of that person? What is their capacity as a person? Because sometimes as a parent, when you pressure, if you have 4 kids, the way you pressure your first will be different the way you pressure your second and third. Because you need to understand the capacity of your child. Because you don't want to pressure them and send them into depression or anxiety. You know, you don't want to do that. And that is the one thing I learned when I moved outside the country is having an understanding, an awareness of other people. What is their mental state? Who are they? Who am I? Then having that confidence, that overconfidence sometimes could, when you think that you are good and your expectation that everyone has to be good or be best at this, all because I'm good. No, people are different and we're good at different things. So in a nutshell, to round it up, having educational expectation for your child should be limited and should be self-focused. We don't think, because you are, because I am as a person, I am a lawyer, all my kids has to meet up to my standard to be a lawyer. Hey, you can have a child that their mental capacity or their intellect might not be. They might be best at plumbing or best at tiling, and that is fine. In as much as they are successful and they have all the skill for them to function in that environment. So, do you guys agree with that?
I agree with that.
So we think educational pressure should be focus and self-centered and capacity of that person as a parent, and support whatever that child would like to become.
And to add to that, actually, I feel like with that as well, you have to realize that your goal isn't education. Your goal is building a person that's confident in themselves and believe they can succeed. Because if you can be the smartest person, if you don't think you can succeed, you're not going to succeed. I feel like that's and that should be the end goal of every parent. Build confident children.
That's
well said.
That's well said. That's interesting.